Welcome to Ray Academy and welcome to my new live class. So in this live class, friends, we are going to cover weekly current affairs. First of all, sorry for yesterday. Okay, so due to personal emergency, I was not able to take the class. So first of all, sorry. And good evening, everyone. How is your preparation going on? Do you have any difficulty? Do you have any doubts? Do you have any question? So you can ask. Feel free to ask. So Salvation, how is your preparation going on?
Good.
Okay. Nirmale?
Sir, actually, I have been to Delhi last week, so a little bit disturbed the entire schedule, sir.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so I told you in this class we are going to cover weekly current affairs, second week of August 2021. So first of all, friends, we'll cover mains topic, and after that we'll cover prelims topic. So in a mains topic, or also you can say in a last week, there was a most important topic in the news. Topic is related to mains is the ripple effect of gender on India's economy and philosophical implication of artificial bomb. Then for prelims, friends, we'll discuss most important topic, for example, archaeological survey of India restoring the 17th century Dutch cemetery at Chinsura. Then Samagr Shiksha scheme, then restoration of power of states and union territory to make their own OBC list, then restructuring of National Mineral Exploration Trust, then BRICS, and after that privatization of Gamma, then net zero carbon, targets, then objection to the mandatory fortification of food items, and in the last we'll discuss e-rupee. So these are the points, or also you can say these are the topics we'll cover. So let's start with the first topic, and the first topic is related to Indian economy, and also you can say related to Indian society. The topic is the ripple effect of gender inclusivity on India's economy. So first of all, friends, let's discuss what is the context. Then archaic age old practices that promote gender segregation at an early age make it increasingly difficult for women to enter the workforce. That means key problems related to women's comes from, you can say, key Vedic period. Then friends, what is inclusive growth and gender equality? Let's discuss what is inclusive growth and gender gender equality. So first of all, friends, inclusive growth. What is inclusive growth? So inclusive growth means economic growth that creates jobs and helps reduce poverty. So inclusive growth means economic growth. That means also you can say create jobs and helps reduce poverty. And it means access to essential health and education services for the poor. So please keep in the mind that means key job creating economy, job creating, then reducing poverty. So please keep in the mind. And also friends, we can say that key access to essential health and education services. That means key access to health and education to everyone. Health and education, health and education to everyone. So you will have to keep in the mind. And friends, it includes providing equal opportunities, empowering people through education and skills development. Inclusive growth also includes a process of growth that is environmentally friendly and aimed at good governance and helping to build a gender responsive society. So please keep in the mind gender responsive Okay, society, gender responsive society. So please keep in the mind. So what is the aim? Aim is to create a gender. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind, create a gender responsive society. And gender equality will be achieved only when women and men enjoy the same opportunities, rights, and obligation in all spheres of life. And this means sharing equally power and influence and having equal opportunities in economy and social sphere. Okay, equal opportunity. So basically gender equality is related to, you can say, equal opportunities. Okay, equal opportunities in economy and social spheres. Then equal claim on education and career prospects will enable women to realize their personal ambition. Okay, so basically gender, okay, equality is related to equal opportunities, related to equal, okay, opportunities. So please keep in the mind, related to equal opportunities. Okay, and gender equality demands the empowerment of women with a focus on identifying and redressing power. Focus on identifying and redressing power. Okay, identifying and redressing power imbalances and giving women more autonomy to manage their own lives, that means if for gender equality we need autonomy to women's, okay, more autonomy for women. So please keep in the mind. And when women are empowered, the whole family benefit, and thus benefiting the society as a whole. And these benefits often have a ripple effect on future generation. Okay, so please keep in the mind. Now friends, let's discuss about the study. Okay, that means the findings of the survey. What is this? So let's discuss. So first of all, friends, to study the impact of gender diversity on employee productivity, okay, you can see here 30% of the employee did not interact with the opposite gender outside of their family or while in school. And more than 30% of the surveyed call center employees were from rural area. These data, okay, are important. So please keep in the mind, you can use this data, you can use these facts in your essay writing, in your mains writing. Okay. And friends, it was not expensive for firms to integrate women into all male workplaces. And there is no negative impact on either productivity or the share of days work during the study period, or being assigned to mixed gender team for male employee. And friends, men with progressive gender attitude assigned to mixed gender teams had significantly higher productivity. Okay, higher productivity than those with regressive gender attitudes. That means gender, also you can say progressive gender attitudes, okay, is must for male. So you will have to keep in the mind, is must for men. And the study also revealed that for female employee, there was an increase in peer monitoring and comfort among those assigned to mixed gender teams. Okay, mixed gender teams. So you will have to keep in the mind, this is very important. Okay. Now friends, let's discuss why India is lagging behind. Okay, why India is lagging behind. Let's discuss one by one. So first of all, burden of traditional practices. So women remain subject to traditional practices that define their primary role as home. So you will have to keep in the mind. So first, burden of traditional practices. Second, lack of monetary support. So as a result, women often do not receive the money needed to start or grow a business, and as well as the necessary training in today's labor market. Then lack of participation. So the main problem is participation. And friends, currently only a quarter of workers in India are women. That means only 25%, okay, workers are female. Workers are female. So that means there is lack of participation. So we can say that due to burden of traditional practices, lack of monetary support, lack of participation, India is lagging behind. Okay, lagging behind. So what is the obstacles for women? Let's discuss the obstacles. So female presence, okay, so you'll have to keep in mind that there are significant barriers to developing growing female presence in productive fields and increasing the number of hours spent by, okay, women. So you'll have to keep in the mind. That means that there is the lacking, okay. Now also you can say male dominant in industry, okay. So we can say that. Then friends, female presence is negligible, okay, you will have to keep in the mind. Then unpaid care work, okay, unpaid care work. What is this? Friends, women are burdened with unpaid care work, which is 10 times the rate for men, which is 10 times, okay, the rate for men. If amount of unpaid work done by women is compensated for even less, India's economic output would be rise by 300 billion, would be rise by 300, okay, billion dollar. So you'll have to keep in the mind 300 billion dollar. Okay, so this is very important. Then poor condition of existing, okay, legal infrastructure. Poor condition of existing legal infrastructure is one of the most important obstacles, one of the, okay, major obstacles for women's empowerment. So the legal protection afforded to women is another challenge, and where the existing infrastructure is inadequate for sexual harassment and paid maternity leave, but the legal right to equal pay and parental leave is severely limited, severely limited. So you'll have to keep in the mind, this is very, very important, I have told you. Okay, now let's discuss next point, and the next point is, friend, unequal representation. What? Unequal representation. Okay, how? Let's discuss. The lack of legal framework can also be caused by another important challenge, the unequal representation of the law for women. And only 11% of India's lower house members are women. You will have to keep in the mind, only 11%. Okay, lower house. Also, you can say only 11% of India's lower house members are women. Then next obstacle is, friend, social and economic challenge. What? Social and economic challenge. So other challenges include important social and economic challenges such as selective abortion and violence against women. So friend, how to bring women into the paid workforce? Okay, how to bring women into the paid workforce? Let's discuss. First, expanding reach of employment, expanding reach of employment. So the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and the software technology parks of India are interested in expanding these call centers to smaller cities and villages and special incentives to firms to. Okay, so first, expanding reach of employment, and the second is, friend, boost to labor demand, boost to labor demand. So in a post-pandemic world, policymakers will need to provide fiscal, okay, stimulus to boost labor demand in India's economy. Okay, then second is incentivizing firm to hire women. So policies which incentives, okay, or incentivize firms to hire women can bring them into the paid workforce. And the next is progressive, okay, gender attitude. Okay, progressive gender attitude. So there is also a need for improving gender attitudes as a policy measures to increase hiring, okay, female workers, hiring female workers. So friends, let's discuss the increasing gender parity in future work. Okay, increasing gender parity in future work. So there is an increase in occupational gender segregation in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, and it is portrayed as a major challenge for gender parity as far as the future of jobs is concerned. And friends, only 2 of the 8, okay, track jobs of tomorrow cluster have reached gender parity, while most show a severe, okay, under representation of women, severe under representation of women. So you will have to keep in the mind. So what should be the way of ahead, friends? So gender positive recovery policies can help meet this challenge. So first, the investment should be increased. That means that there should be investment. Okay. So investment should be increased. Investment should be increased in the care sector, and the similar increase should be into equitable access to care leave for both genders. And national government should come forward with policies that arrest occupational segregation by gender. That means there is a need of law. Okay, there is a need of law. And to attain more gender equal future of work, nation have to come up with effective mid-career reskilling policies. Okay, that means skilling policies, mid-career skilling policies. There's a need of mid-career skilling policies, okay, re-skilling policies, and combined with managerial practices which embed sound, unbiased hiring and promotion practices. Okay, so friend, what should be the conclusion? Bangladesh, with a lower per capita income than India, is doing significantly better in most indicators of gender equality, including sex ratio at birth, female literacy rate, female labor force participation, and gender wage equality, earned income of women, and political representation of women. And friends, among other policies, Bangladesh has made this progress due to women empowerment incentive geared towards strengthening social acceptance of women's work. So therefore, investment in workplace intervention involving gender equality training by firms in India might be beneficial, okay, in improving their productivity and profits. Okay, so we have discussed about the first topic. Okay, first topic, the ripple effect. What? The ripple effect of gender inclusivity on India's economy. So is it clear, or do you have any doubt? Or if you have any suggestion, if you have any, okay, points related to anything, you can tell me. Or if you have doubt, feel free to ask. Anyone? Do you have any doubt? Daji, Devika, Meena, Nirmalay, Takshima, okay, Radha, Salvation, Subraleen, Susmita. Anyone? Okay, clear. So now I'm going to cover the next topic. Okay, and next topic is also related to mains, and the topic is related to OBC. Okay, so OBC is in frequent use. Maybe UPSC or state service can ask related to this. So let's discuss. So cabinet passes bill restoring power of states or union territory to make their own OBC list. Okay, own OBC list. So in a recent development, the Union Cabinet has cleared a constitution amendment bill which seeks to give power to states and union territory to make their own other backward class list. Friends, in May this year, okay, the Supreme Court gave its landmark verdict, and which held that the 102nd Constitution Amendment took away states' power to declare socially and educationally backward classes for grant of quota in jobs and admission. So please keep in the mind, you will have to read about 102nd Constitution Amendment Act, and it is related to National Commission of Backward Classes. We'll discuss. Okay. And friends, the center sought review of the judgment, which was later dismissed by the Apex Court. And the latest decision to bring the 127th Constitutional Amendment Bill, okay, and the latest decision to bring the 127th Constitution Amendment Bill 2021 comes months before crucial polls in 5 states, including Uttar Pradesh, okay, including Uttar Pradesh, and then friends, whether you can say where other backward classes group holds sway, okay, that means ki other backward classes number is too high, so you'll have to keep in the mind. And friends, the union government has also, you can say the union government also accepted a long-standing demand to introduce 27%, okay, 27% reservation for women's, reservation for other backward classes in medical and dental courses, okay, other medical, other you can say key backward classes in medical, okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind, okay, medical and dental courses, medical and dental courses. So what is the bill, or what is in the bill? Let's discuss. Friends, the bill will be Constitutional 127 Amendment Bill, 127 Amendment Bill. And friends, what will happen, okay, you can say by the Constitutional 127 Amendment Bill. So it will amend Article 342A and introduce clause Article 342A clause 3 that will specifically authorize state to maintain their state list of other backward classes, okay, other backward classes. You know, friends, in Indian Constitution, okay, there is Schedule 7, okay, and in a Schedule 7 there is 3 lists: union list, concurrent list, and state list, okay, concurrent list and state list. Our respective state government have exclusive power, okay, exclusive power to legislate on matters relating to item listed in the state list, item listed in the state list, okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind, this is very, very important. And friends, beside the Article 342, there will be an amendment in Article 366, okay, clause 26C, and Article 338B clause 9. So how a constitutional amendment bill is passed? Anyone? Do you have any idea how a constitutional amendment bill is passed? Anyone? Do you know what is the procedure or what is the process? Anyone? Any information?
Sir, through a constitutional amendment bill.
Yes. Yeah, Radha, go ahead.
Constitutional amendment bill, through, sir. Hello, sir, I am audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, sir. This can be presented through a constitutional amendment bill, either in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, is there provision for joint sitting for our constitutional amendment bill?
No, sir.
Okay. So which article is related to joint sitting? Article 108. Okay. So now I'm going to tell you how a constitutional amendment bill is passed. So a constitutional amendment bill must be passed in each house by a majority of the total membership of that house and by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the members of that house present and voting. So you'll have to keep in the mind. So constitutional amendment bill can be introduced in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind. So friend, what is the clear objective of the 127th Constitutional Amendment Bill? So after this bill, state will be able to directly notify OBC and social economic, okay, backward classes without referring to the National Commission Backward Class. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind. So these are the core objective. Okay, you can see here. So why there is a need of the bill? So the bill will give clarity to the 102nd Constitution Amendment Act. 102nd Constitution Amendment Act. So the bill, will give clarity to the 102nd Constitution Amendment Act, and that had created confusion in state and central list, and this clause will clarify it. Okay, this clause will clarify it. So what is 102nd Constitution Amendment Act? So 102nd Constitution Amendment Act of 2018, inserted Article 338B, and which deals with the structure, duties, and power of the National Commission for Backward Classes. And friends, while Article 342A deals with the power of the President to notify a particular caste as social economic backward classes, and power of Parliament to change the list. So you'll have to keep in the mind. Okay, so Article 342A gives power to President. Okay, so this is very, very important. And friends, so will 122nd Constitution Amendment Bill have any impact on the Maratha quota? Because Maratha reservation is in frequent news. So according to me, we should discuss about this. Okay. So friends, the 122nd Constitutional Amendment Bill is said to be in response to the dismissal of law on the Maratha quota by the Supreme Court. And in the Maratha reservation judgment, the Supreme Court dismissed the Maratha quota law by citing the 122nd Amendment of the Constitution that has scrapped the power of state to identify and notify socially and educationally backward classes. Okay, so please keep in the mind. So what is the status of reservation in India? Let's discuss. So what is the current scenario? Today, 50% of seats in government-aided educational institutions and public jobs are reserved for the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes. Okay, 50% of seats. And the central government of India reserves 27% of higher education, and individual state may legislate further reservation. So what is the current scenario of reservation in India? 15% seats are reserved for scheduled caste, 5% seats are reserved for scheduled tribes, 27% seats are reserved for the OBC other backward classes. And friends, total constitutional reservation percentage is 49.5%, and the rest 50.5% seats are open to all. For example, general, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, other backward classes. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind. Now, let's discuss the facts related to OBC, other backward classes in India. So OBC is an umbrella term, used for range of caste and community that are socially and economically disadvantaged. That means the backward classes. And friends, currently there is no updated census on the population of OBC, and there is only a caste data census, 1931 before independence, as the basis of population share of the subcaste within other backward classes. You know, many political parties are demanding for caste census. So for example, Mamata Banerjee, Aam Aadmi Party, Rashtriya Janata Dal Party, Janata Dal United Party, basically UP based party or Bihar based party. So you'll have to keep in the mind. And the next census in 2021 is selected to count OBC for the first time in 90 years. A reservation for other backward classes, unlike that for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, was not initially guaranteed in the Constitution and extends only to jobs and education, not to elected representative. Only reservation for jobs and education, not for elected representative. But in you can say Lok Sabha, this 84 seat is reserved for scheduled caste, 47 seat is reserved for scheduled tribes. Total 131 seats are reserved. Okay. And friends, do you know about the reservation? So reservation draws its roots from the Mandal Commission. Okay, Mandal Commission. So you have to keep in the mind BP Mandal. So the BP Mandal Commission was set up in 1979, and its recommendation for 27% of OBC quota accepted by the central government in 1990. And in 2006, the reservation was extended to institution of higher education. Higher education. Okay. So what should be the conclusion portion for this topic? The bill, okay, is become an act, will restore the rights of the states to identify the other backward classes for the state list of caste eligible for mandal reservation in education and employment under state government. Employment under state government. So we have discussed, okay, the second topic, cabinet passes bill restoring power of the states unilaterally to make their own OBC list. So is it clear, or do you have any doubt? If you have any doubt, you can ask. Or is it clear? Please comment, or please, okay, tell me yes or is it clear. Any doubt? Anyone?
Clear, sir.
Okay, ask.
Sir, 84 and 47, what are the percentage, sir? That is not 5% belongs to ST.
Radha, I'm not getting your voice clearly. Can you comment? Yeah,
Okay,
Tejas,
sir, okay.
do you have doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Yes, Radha, please comment. First of all, Radha, yes, we can say कि lump sum 5% seat of Lok Sabha is reserved for, okay, scheduled tribes. We can say, yes. So how seat divided? Seat divided on the basis of census. Okay, Radha. Why salvation? Why ST/SC not elect represent? Yeah, there is a, in a Lok Sabha, okay, there is a reservation, but in Rajya Sabha there is no reservation. Okay, in Lok Sabha there is 84 members from scheduled caste, 47 members from scheduled tribes, but in Rajya Sabha there is no reservation. So we can say, okay, reservation only for education and only for jobs. Okay. So any doubt? I told you seat, okay, will be divided on the basis of census, 1971 census. Now let's discuss most important topic from governance, okay, or also security. So preventive detention, a necessary evil. Okay. So what is this? Let's discuss. Friends, recently, two judge of Supreme Court has quashed a preventive detention order, which was earlier upheld by the High Court of the state of Telangana at Hyderabad. Okay. So what is the background? Under section 151 of the criminal, okay, procedure code. So you'll have to keep in the mind section 151 of the criminal procedure code 1973, criminal procedure code 1973. Preventive detention is action taken on grounds of suspicion that some wrong action may be done by the person concerned. Okay, person concerned. So what is preventive detention? Preventive detention is, you can say, we can, okay, also you can say we should stop the crime before it happen. Okay, हमें crime को पहले ही रोक देना है कि वो हो ना पाए. So we can say कि Okay, a preventive detention is action taken on grounds of suspicion that some wrong action may be done by the person concerned. And friends, a police officer can arrest an individual without orders from a magistrate and without any warrant if he gets any information that such an individual can commit any offense. Okay, that means the police has the free hand. Okay, that means the police can arrest anyone anytime. Okay, so on the basis of, you can say, key suspicion. Okay, and article 22 of the Indian Constitution, article 22 of the Indian Constitution provides protection against arrest and detention in certain cases. Okay, article 22 of the Indian Constitution is related to preventive detention. You have to keep in the mind. And article 22 of the Indian Constitution provides protection against arrest and detention in certain cases. So what is the difference between preventive detention and arrest? Let's discuss. Okay, we should understand. So friends, first of all, arrest is done when a person is charged with a crime. An arrested person is produced before a magistrate within the next 24 hours. But in case of preventive detention, a person is detained, okay, is simply restricted from doing something that might destroy the public order. Okay, that means that will be dangerous for public order or law. Okay, law and order. And the case of Union of India versus Paul, okay, Nanikan and the Supreme Court stated that the purpose of preventive detention is not to punish any person for doing something, but to abstract him before he does it and deter him from doing so. Okay, so in the case of Union of India versus Paul Nanikan, Supreme Court said that the purpose of preventive detention is not to punish any person for doing something, but to abstract him, okay, before he does it and deter him from doing so. And the reasoning for such detention is based on suspicion, reasonable possibility, and not a criminal conviction, and which can be justified only by valid proof. So what is the regulation in post India, okay, for preventive detention? Let's discuss. Friends, first, okay, Preventive Detention Act was passed after independence in 1950. But this act was questioned on, okay, its validity in the case of A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras at Supreme Court. And with the exception of some provision, the Supreme Court held the act constitutionally valid. So you'll have to keep in the mind. Friends, starting from pre-independence till now, there have been several laws made in regard to preventive detention. So first, Maintenance of Internal Security Act 1971. That means the MISA Act 1971. And the second, Foreign Exchange, Conservation and Prevention of Smuggling Activities 1974. Okay, COFE-POSHA Act. Then Terrorist and Disruptive Activity Prevention Act TADA 1985. Then Quota Prevention of Terrorist Activities Act 2002. Then Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 2008. So what is the judiciary in preventive detention? Okay, let's discuss the judiciary in preventive detention cases. So in the case of Premnarayan versus Union of India, the Allahabad High Court stated that preventive detention is an infringement upon the personal freedom of an individual, and it can be infringed in easygoing way. Okay, in easygoing way. Basically, in Premnarayan versus Union of India, Allahabad High Court said that preventive detention is dangerous for people's freedom, dangerous for personal freedom. It can take away the personal freedom from an individual. And in the case of, okay, Sivan Lal versus State of Uttar Pradesh, Apex Court of India stated that A courtroom is even, okay, competent to inquire into reality or any case of the facts which are referenced as the grounds of detainment. Grounds of detainment. So basically, you'll have to keep in the mind cases. For example, Premnarayan versus Union of India, Sivan Lal versus State of Uttar Pradesh, Haradhan, okay, Saha case, then Baka Isnaha versus State of Telangana. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind, and also Ekal Gopalan versus State of Madras. So these cases are related to preventive detention. Okay, these cases are related to preventive detention. If you okay will write any 2 or 3 cases in your mains answer, okay, you'll get extra marks. Okay, I'm 100% sure you'll get 1 extra marks for mention the cases. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind. So you should, okay, note down these cases, and you'll have to keep in the mind. You'll have to revise. For example, कि Premnarayan versus Union of India, Sivan Lal versus State of Uttar Pradesh, Haradhan Shaha case, okay, Baka Isnaha versus State of Telangana. UPSC may ask question. For example, UPSC asked Premnarayan versus Union of India case related to, okay, or also with reference to Premnarayan versus Union of India cases, consider the following statement. Okay, so that means the UPSC can ask question from preventive detention topic and also cases related to preventive detention cases. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind. Then friends, and the next, okay, what is the next? So let's discuss. So why preventive detention law should find no place in our statute books, that means in our constitution. Friends, there have been different circumstances of abuse of preventive detention powers for political advantage or to control free discourse and articulation. And National Security Act was utilized in Uttar Pradesh to ensure transparent and corruption-free examination, or captures were made for the issue rising up out of neighborhood cricket disagreement. Then friends, unreasonable capacity to detain an individual without much checks and balance, and the least legal impedance expands the chance of, okay, conceivable abuse of power to detain an individual. And in the case of Rekha versus State of Tamil Nadu, the Supreme Court of India stated that preventive detention is ordinarily, okay, repugnant to democratic ideas and abhorrent to the rule of law, and no such law exists in the USA and in England. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind. So what's need to be done? What's need to be done, friends? It is clear that in certain cases, the law pertaining to colonial history now have to modify or updated over time. Now there is a need for security and human rights to go hand in hand, and it now requires an evaluation of the laws and their regulation, and the state must take the responsibility to compensate the acquitted, okay, in the place of damages caused relating to life, health, and income. And a proper system should be made which will make sure that the rights are being made available to the, okay, detainee, you can say detainee, during the detention period. And if any accusation for coercive action are made, it should be taken in a serious way and should be followed by a proper investigation by an appropriate authority. Okay, so these are the most important points related to preventive detention. Okay, preventive detention is frequent use, so you'll have to okay, study. You'll have to make your own notes. Also, my notes is sufficient for your current affairs. Okay, so we have discussed. Do you have any doubt related to preventive detention topics? Okay, or is it clear? Please tell me. Any doubt? You can also comment. Okay.
Clear, sir.
Okay. Now, let's discuss the important topics: wildfires, good servant, bad disaster. Okay, so this articles related to the Hindu, okay, and also from various sources. So now let's discuss wildfires, okay, and it is related to environment. Friends, what is the context? At least 8 people have been killed in wildfires that have ripped through southern Turkey and ravaging coastal resorts and forcing tourists to flee. What is the background? Friends, forest fire is a major cause of injury and loss to forest. Okay, that means ki forest fire is major reason for deforestation. Forest fire is major reason for deforestation. And with the population increase, the frequency and subsequent damage to the forest fire is increasing day by day. And major forest fire recently witnessed were Australia bushfire. Okay, you will have to keep in the mind Australia bushfire. Okay, Australia bushfire, Uttarakhand forest fire, Uttarakhand forest fire. Okay, then Russian wildfires, and also in America. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind. Friends, climate change, anthropogenic activities are seen as major cause of wildfires with increased frequency in recent past. Okay, so climate change and anthropogenic means man-made. Climate change and anthropogenic. Okay, causes are main causes, so you will have to keep in the mind. So what you can say, we have discussed wildfires. Now what is the types of forest fire? Okay, so let's discuss the types of forest fire. So there are basically 4 types of forest fire: surface fire, underground fires, ground fires, and crown fire. What is the meaning of surface fire? Let's discuss. Surface fire is the most common forest fire that burn undergrowth and dead material along the floor of the forest. And it is the type of fire that burns surface, litter, other loose debris of the forest floor and small vegetation. So basically, surface fire is the most common forest fire that burn undergrowth and dead material along the floor of the forest. Then what is underground, okay, fire? What is underground fire? The fires of low intensity consuming the organic matter beneath and the surface litter of forest floor are subgrouped as underground fire. And in most of the dense forest, a thick mantle of organic matter is found on the top of the mineral soil, and the fire is spreading by consuming such material. Okay, so these are also, you can say key, these points related to underground fire. What is ground fire? What is ground fire? Okay, so there is no clear distinction between underground and ground fire. Okay, and smoldering underground fire, something also you can see sometime changes into ground fire, and the fire burns root and the other material on or beneath the surface. For example, burns the herbaceous growth on forest floor together with the layer of organic matter in various stages of decay. Then what is ground fire? Okay, this is not important, but you will have to keep in the mind these 4 types of fire. Okay, surface, underground, ground, and ground fire. And ground fire is the most unpredictable. Okay, this is most unpredictable. This is most unpredictable. Okay, fires that burn the top of trees and spread rapidly by wind. And in most of the cases, these fires are invariably ignited by surface fire. And since it is over the heads of the ground force, it is uncontrollable. Unit it again drops to the ground. And since it is usually fast moving, and it poses a grave danger to the fire, fighters becoming trapped and burned. What is the causes of forest fire? Anyone? Can you tell me what is the causes of forest fire? Please. What is the causes of forest fire?
Sir, temperature.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Sir, temperature. Excessive heat. Temperature.
Okay. Temperature. Anyone? Climatic condition. Okay, very good, Radha. Next. Please tell me, what is the causes of forest fire? Maybe UPSC, okay, will ask about forest fire, and you'll have to write your answer. So what will you write? What is forest fire? What is the causes of fire? You should aware, okay, you should have knowledge related to types of forest fire, causes of forest fire. So let's discuss one by one. Okay, what is the causes of forest fire? Basically, I will discuss three types of causes. Okay, basically two types of causes: natural causes and anthropogenic causes. Let's discuss one by one. Okay, I will not to go in detail because we'll have to cover the topics as per general studies, not for optional subject. So for in natural cause, there is lightning, friction of rolling stones, rubbing, okay, of dry bamboo clumps, volcanic explosion. Then in a anthropogenic cause, there is two types of causes. First is deliberate and second is accidental. In a deliberate, there is shifting cultivation. Okay, milpa is just shifting, okay, shifting cultivation in Mexico. So you'll have to keep in the mind. Then to flush growth of tender leaves, than to have good growth of grass and fodder, to settle a score with forest department or personal rivalry, than to clear path, okay, path by villager, to encroach upon the forest land, for concealing elect failing, than tribal condition or customs, than in accidental, okay, collection of non-timber forest produce, burning farm, okay, residue, driving away wild animals, throwing burning bidi cigarettes, campfires by, okay, pinnacles, spark from vehicle exhaust, sparks from transformers, controlled prescribed burning, resin, okay, tapping, making charcoals in forest, extracting wine in the forest, sparks from cooking near the forest, hitting coal tar for road construction in the forest. So these are the causes, okay, these are the causes of forest fire. So damage caused by forest fire, what will happen? Okay, let's discuss damage, okay, caused by forest fire. So first, loss of valuable timber resources, loss of valuable timber resources. Forest fire cause indispensable loss to timber and destroy its quality. Valuable, okay, timber species like teak, sal, cheed, devdar, sesame, rosewood, okay, are adversely affected by fire. Okay, that means the loss of valuable timber resources, loss of valuable timber resources. Sorry. Then next is impact of forest fire on ecosystem. Impact of forest fire on ecosystem. Okay. So the most damaging impact of forest fire on ecosystem is very evident in the Himalaya, where hills existing between the heights of 1000 to 1800 meters are dominated by pine forest and seem to be more fire prone. Okay, more fire prone, and the uncontrolled fire in such area help in spreading pine forest at the cost of indigenous oak forest, which is a very serious threat to the ecological balance in the Himalayan region. Okay, that means the pine forest, okay, is also the causes. Then degradation of water catchments area resulting into loss of water. Degradation of water catchment area resulting into loss of water. After forest fire, soil moisture is decreased. and litter decomposition becomes almost negligible, and which creates a possibility of forest fire in future. Okay, which creates a possibility of forest fire in future. Then there will be loss of wildfowl habitat and depletion of wildlife. Forests are the habit of many wild animals. When fire becomes uncontrolled, the problem of survival of animals and their habitat arises. Then forest fire in Sanku, Wasabha, and Ilam in Nepal claim red pandas, leopard, as well as monkeys, deer, bear, and other species. So you'll have to keep in the mind. Then there will be impact on global warming. Okay, so the immediate effect of vegetation burning is the production and release of gases including carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, methane, non-methane hydrocarbons, nitric oxides, methyl chloride, and various other gases which are released and returned to the atmosphere. Okay, then there will be soil erosion. Okay, what? Soil erosion. The scientific studies indicate that erosion of the soil from the forest land depends on many factors. For example, the soil porosity, its mineral composition, the texture, the gradient of land and the length. And friends, all these factors decide the ease with which the individual soil particles are detached. Particles are detached. You'll have to keep in the mind. Okay. So friends, please read about National Action Plan on Forest Fire. National Action Plan on Forest Fire. Okay, please read it. So you should read. Please keep in the mind. This is very important. Okay. Now, friends. So what is National Action Plan on Forest Fire 2018? So one of the main objective of the action plan is to reduce the incidence of fires by informing, enabling, and empowering forest fringe communities and incentivizing them to work in tandem with the state forest department. And the plan also aims to reduce the vulnerability of forest against fire hazards across the diverse forest ecosystem in the country, enhancing the capabilities of institution in fighting fires and accelerating the recovery after a fire incidents. Okay, so please keep in the mind, friends. There is also one thing is very important: how to prevent forest fire. Anyone, can you tell me how to prevent forest fire? Anyone? Can you tell me one or two point how to prevent forest fire? No one. Why, guys? Please try to participate. Yes, restricting the fire related activities near forest area. Very good, Radha. Very good. Plantation. Very good. Next.
So, uh, so can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes.
So necessary actions should be taken to control the climatic condition.
Yes. Very good. Okay, so now I am going to tell you how to prevent. So I will discuss only points. Okay, first, awareness generation. Okay, what? Awareness generation, public awareness. Okay, second, empowering communities. Empowering communities, okay, empowering communities. Then moisture and water preservation, okay. Then forest floor biomass management, then weed management, detection, okay, and alert, forest fringe lines. So that means there also fire suppression. So that means these are the okay points related to prevention of forest fire. Now, friends, we'll have to discuss the next topic, and the next topic, okay, is related to prelims. So you'll have to keep in the mind. So just a minute. Yes, the first topics for prelims is Archaeological Survey of India restoring the 17th century Dutch cemetery at Chinsura. At Chinsura. Okay, so it is related to history and art and culture. Okay. So the Archaeological Survey of India, Kolkata, had started the restoration of Dutch cemetery at Chinsura. Okay. So what is Dutch cemetery? The cemetery is situated more than 40 kilometers upstream from Kolkata on the river Hooghly. And the Chinsura, okay, is a place in Kolkata. Okay, so the Chinsura Dutch cemetery is probably the biggest non-British European cemetery in West Bengal. In West Bengal, and it is protected monuments remain and the most important proof of a strong Dutch presence in the town. And the cemetery reminds of the golden age of the Dutch legacy in Chinsura. And the cemetery contains an assortment of 250 graves scattered under old trees and surrounded by a high wall. And the cemetery has two segments, okay, the older one having graves of Dutch national, and the other is still used by the British and native Christian. And the oldest identified tomb at the cemetery belongs to Sir Cornelius Jong, who died in Chinsura in 1743. In 1743. And friends, the other important graves at the cemetery include is of Dan, and he was the Dutch governor of Chinsura, who stayed in the town even after the British took over the town in 1825. And the cemetery has, okay, mausoleums with an architectural style of the same period in South India. And the southern part of the cemetery is home to 24 extant Dutch tombs, which are of three types, namely pyramids, tomb, boxes, and plain. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you about a few facts related to Dutch. Okay, Dutch in India. So please keep in the mind. So people of Holland, presently Netherlands, okay, are also known as Dutch, and Dutch set their feet in India after Portuguese. After Portuguese, okay, Dutch came to India after Portuguese. Portuguese, okay, after Portuguese. So you'll have to keep in the mind. And the United East India Company of the Netherlands was formed in 1602 to trade with East India nation. So East India Company of Netherlands or Dutch was formed in 1602. And the Dutch founded the first factory in Masulipatam in Andhra Pradesh in 1605. Okay, first factory. Okay. So you'll have to keep in the mind in 1605 at Masulipatam, Andhra Pradesh. And friends, Dutch Surat and Dutch Bengal were established in 1616 and 1627 AD respectively. So Dutch Surat in 1616, Dutch Bengal in 1626. Sorry, 1627. And the Dutch conquered Ceylon in 1656 and Malabar coast in 1671. So Dutch conquered, okay, Ceylon means Sri Lanka in 1656 and Malabar coast in 1671. And the Dutch gradually become a potent force, capturing Nagpattam near Madras, that means Chennai, from the Portuguese, and thereby establishing their foothold in South India. And they monopolized in black pepper and spices. And the major Indian commodity traded by Dutch were cotton, indigo, silk, rice, and afim. So there's decline. Why? What was the reason? Basically, to their okay, one or two main regions. So Dutch presence lasted from 1605 AD to 1825 AD, and the rise of the British power posed serious challenge to the commercial interest of the Dutch, leading to bloody warfare. Okay, leading to bloody you can say warfare. You will have to keep in the mind. So we have discussed the first important topic, archaeological survey of India, restoring the 17th century Dutch cemetery at Chinsura. So you'll have to keep in the mind. And the next topic is related to Samagra Shiksha scheme for school education to be continued from 2021 to 2026. Okay. So the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approved the continuation of the revised Samagra Shiksha scheme for a period of 5 years from 2021 to 2026. So what is Samagra Shiksha scheme? It is an integrated scheme for school education which covers education from preschool to class 12th. Preschool to class 12th. And Samagra Shiksha scheme was launched by Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education. So when it was launched in 2018, and it subsumed the centrally sponsored scheme of Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, and teacher education. Okay. And Samagra Shiksha scheme treats school education by Sustainable Development Goal for education. That means Sustainable Development Goal 14. In Sustainable Development Goal, there is total 17 aims. So you'll have to keep in the mind. And Samagra Shiksha scheme support the implementation of Right to Education Act and is aligned with the recommendation of New Education Policy 2020. New Education Policy 2020. Okay. And this scheme covers 1.16 million schools, over 156 million students, 5.7 million teacher of government, and added school from pre-primary to senior secondary level. So what is the implementation of this scheme? For a state level, it is implemented as a centrally sponsored scheme through a single state implementation society at the state level. And for national level, so at the national level, there is a governing body headed by the Minister of Education and project approved board headed by the Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy. And the scheme ensures that all children have access to equally education. Okay, access to quality education. Okay, please keep in the mind. So what is the major intervention under you can say Samagra Shiksha scheme? So major intervention is friends, universal access including infrastructure and development and retention, then foundational literacy and numeracy, gender and equity, inclusive education, quality and innovation, financial support for teacher salary, digital initiatives, right to education entitlements including uniforms, textbook, then vocational education, sports and physical education, strengthening of teacher education and training. There is a major intervention, monitoring, program management, national component. Okay. So do you know about the literacy in India? According to the 2011 census, any person aged 7 and above and who has ability to read and write is considered literate. That means in any language, they can be known as literate in India. Okay. So the average literacy rate in India is 74.04%. 74.04%. Okay. So why Kerala has the highest literacy rate in India? Kerala, 93.91%. 93.91%. And Bihar has the least literacy rate of India. So Bihar 63.82%. Okay, 63.82%. So please keep in the mind. And the Ministry of Home Affairs, conducts a census every 10 years in India. Okay. And friends, the midday meal scheme, Samar Shiksha program, awareness campaign, and Right to Education Act, some of the measures of Indian government to improve education, Okay. So we have discussed these topics. Okay. You have any doubts, you can ask now. So we have discussed this topic. Okay, friends. So for in the main topic, so we will no need to discuss restoration of power states union territory to make their OBC list because we have discussed. Okay. Now next topic is restructuring. Okay. Yes. Yeah, let's discuss a few facts related to National Commission for Backward Class because this is important. Maybe UPSC may ask a question. So it was initially constituted by the National Commission for Backward Classes Act 1993, and so far the commission was reconstituted 7 times up to 2016. And the government had repealed the National Commission for Backward Classes Act 1993 in 2018 by 102nd Constitution Amendment Act. And the present commission, the 8th commission, has been accorded constitutional status through the Constitution 102nd Constitution Amendment Act 2018. And for this, Article 338B has been inserted to forming a commission for the socially and educationally backward classes, which is to be known as National Commission for Backward Classes. And the commission consists of a chairperson, vice chairperson, 3 other members in rank and pay of Secretary to the Government of India. Secretary to the Government of India. Okay, so please keep in the mind. So any doubt do you have? Feel free to ask. Okay, don't hesitate. If you have doubt, okay, any doubt, please comment.
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Now we'll have to discuss new topic. Okay, for prelims. So I'm taking 5 minutes breaks. Please wait. Okay, don't go. I'll join within 5 to 7 minutes. Yes, let's discuss the next topic. Next topic is restructuring of National Mineral Exploration Trust. That means MET. Now MET is an autonomous body, so you'll have to keep in the mind. So this is very, very important. Okay. So friend, what is the context? So Union Minister of Coal, Mines and Parliamentary Affairs as the official of the Ministry of Mines to restructure the National Mineral Exploration Trust, that means NMET, as an autonomous body. So what is National Mineral Exploration Trust? Let's discuss. So the National Mineral Exploration Trust was established in 2015. Okay. And the trust was formed under the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957. And the body is working for realization of mineral potential of the country in terms of mining activity. Okay, mining activity. So friends, NMET, that means National Mineral Exploration Trust, has two-tier structure. So first, the apex body, which is governing body, and it is chaired by the Ministry of Mines, and it holds the overall control of the NMET. Then second is executive committee. First apex committee, second is executive committee, and it is chaired by secretary of Ministry of Mines, administers and manages its activities, administers and manages its activities. And friends, to implement its activities as an MET fund, that means National Mineral Exploration Trust Fund, has been established. And do you know about the NMET fund? Okay, so I will tell you. The holders of the mining lease and prospecting license mining lease make payments which are equivalent to 2% of royalty for mineral under the second schedule of the Act. Okay. And the trust supports the regional and detailed mineral exploration in the country. So what is NMET fund? Let's discuss the NMET fund, because this is very, very important. So I have covered NMET fund, MET in slides, so you'll have to keep in the mind and you'll have to revise. So basically friends, NMET fund is utilized to undertake studies for mineral development. Take studies for mineral development, you will have to keep in the mind. Okay, so this is very, very important. Then second, regional and detailed exploration of strategic and critical minerals. And to an aerial physical survey of obvious geological potential and the adjoining areas of India, sustainable mining with advanced scientific and technological practices, and mineral extraction metallurgy. Okay. And friends, NMET fund also facilitates exploration activities by the provision of the 1957 Act. Okay, so this is very, very important. Why there is a need for the autonomy? Let's discuss why there is a need for autonomy, okay, for NMET. So this is very, very important. So let's discuss. First of all, there is a need to focus on the exploration of gold and rare earth along with the other segments of India's mineral exploration efforts. Then to streamline the system of extending financial assistance to states for enhanced exploration. Okay, enhanced exploration. Then friends, second is it will create an atmosphere of competition among states to set up exploration, and this will encourage mining exploration to be more frequent and result oriented. Okay, more frequent and result oriented. So you will have to keep in the mind, this is very, very important. Okay, now let's discuss the next. Do you know about the mining in India? What is the present scenario of mining in India? So mining is regulated in India under the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957, or basically MMDR Act 1957. Okay, 1957. So mining is regulated in India under the MMDR Act. Okay, 1957. MMDR stands for Mineral Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act. Okay, and it act was amended in 2015. Amended in 2015, amended in 2015 with the intention of removing discretion and introducing more transparency in the allocation process. Then friends, a national mineral exploration policy, that means ki NMEP, National Mineral Exploration Policy. Okay, so what is this? So national mineral exploration policy was brought out by the government in 2016. In 2016, okay, in 2016, followed by the National Mineral Policy 2019. National Mineral Policy 2019. Okay, 2019. And the policy supported the encouragement of private sector to take up exploration, and that the exploration should be incentivized to attract private investment as well as state-of-the-art technology, and within the ambit of the auction regime through right of first refusal at the time of auction. Okay, time of auction. So we have discussed. Okay, so you'll so go through the mineral province map of India. If you'll find, okay, you'll get a map on the net. Please go through it. So because you'll get idea related to which types of mineral found in which types of area. Okay, so this is very, very important. So why Andhra Pradesh of Nellore is famous? Nellore, okay, in Andhra Pradesh is famous for? Anyone? Mica. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind mica. So this is very, very important. Now let's discuss the next topic, and the next topic is when BRICS finalized counter-terrorism action plan. BRICS finalized counter-terrorism action plan. This is related to international relation, and the BRICS counter-terrorism action plan has been finalized as the 6th meeting of the BRICS counter-terrorism working group. 6th meeting of the BRICS counter-terrorism working group. So what is BRICS counter-terrorism action plan? Let's discuss what is this. So the plan, okay, will strengthen the counter-terror cooperation among members of the BRICS, countries. Okay, that means key counter-terror cooperation. Counter-terror cooperation. Basically, terrorism action plan of BRICS focus on counter-terror, you can say key cooperation. An action plan will helping in bringing result-oriented cooperation. What? Result-oriented. Second, result-oriented cooperation. Result-oriented cooperation among the BRICS member states. And the plan contains specific measures to implement BRICS counter-terrorism strategy, which was adopted by BRICS leader in 2020. That means there is strategy. It was a strategy was made in 2020. Okay, and the document will help to increase the intra-BRICS collaboration for combating terrorism, radicalization, financing of terrorism, and cybercrime. And it will also help to curb the travel of terrorists, to strengthen border control, and protect soft targets. Okay, so we have discussed about BRICS counter-terrorism action plan. Do you know there's a series of measures taken by India to fight against terrorism? There is a comprehensive convention on international terrorism. So it was proposed by India in 1996, and the ratification of comprehensive convention on international terrorism is pending due to opposition from US and you'll have to keep in the mind OIS countries. What? OIS countries. So this is very, very important. Okay, so this is very, very important you have to keep in the mind. So this is very you can say one of the most important topic maybe UPSC can ask. Okay, Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Okay, so please keep in the mind OIC means Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Okay, now let's discuss the next thing. So I told you CCIT was proposed by India in 1996. Okay, and the ratification of CCIT is pending due to opposition from US and Organization of Islamic Countries. And friends, CCIT provides a legal framework to make it binding on all signatories to deny funds and safe havens to terrorist group. Safe havens to terrorist group. Okay, so please keep in the mind. And friends, this includes the following. Okay, major objective. So first, to have a universal definition of terrorism, to ban all the terror group and shutting down the terror camps, to prosecute all the terrorists under special law, to make cross-border terrorism an extra detailable, okay, offensive worldwide. So you have to keep in the mind. So in India, there is a National Investigation Agency, okay, NIA. Do you know anything about NIA? Anyone? What is NIA? National Investigation Agency of India. What is NIA? Anyone? Okay. So NIA, this is India's Counter-Terrorism Task Force. This is Counter-Terrorism Task Force. Counter-Terrorism Task Force. Okay. And the agency is empowered to deal with the terror-related crimes across states without any special permission from states. And NIA, that means the National Investigation Agency, came into existence through the enactment of National Investigation Agency 2008. National Investigation Agency, okay, National Investigation Agency Act 2008. 2008. Okay, and after the deadly 26/11 terror attack in Mumbai. So what is Financial Action Task Force? I'm going to tell you in the single line. On 2010, on June 2010, FATF, Financial Action Task Force. Okay, on June 2010, that means on 25th June. Yeah. 25th June 2010, India became the 34th country of FATF, that means the Financial Action Task. And Financial Action Task Force is an intergovernmental, okay, is an intergovernmental, please keep in the mind, intergovernmental financial watchdog, and it develops and promotes policies to combat money laundering and financing of terrorism. It is consisting of 39 countries with major financial centers in Europe, North and South America, and Asia, and 2 international organizations has proposed a set of 40 recommendations to combat money laundering. And FATF has developed the FATF standards to ensure a coordinated global response to prevent organized crime, corruption, and terrorism. Okay, so please keep in the mind. So friends, what is the international efforts to counter terrorism? What is the international efforts of counter terrorism? Let's discuss. UN Regulation 1373 and 1535. UN Resolution. Okay, so first is 1373, and second is 1535. Is related to Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism. Okay, so these resolutions were passed in 2001, okay, 1373, and 1535 was passed in 2004, and were concerned with the formation of the Counter-Terrorism Committee. The United Nations Security Council Resolution 1267 1267. Okay, this was in 1999, and through the regulation, the designated Osama bin Laden and his association or associates as a terrorist and established sanctions to cover individual and entities, okay, associated with Al Qaeda, Osama bin Laden, and the Taliban. You know the presence of Taliban we have discussed, okay, in previous classes in detail. So we have discussed every aspects related to Taliban and Afghanistan and also impact on India. Then friends, UN Convention on Counter-Terrorism. Okay, UN Convention on Counter-Terrorism. So this provides support to the member states and regional organizations for the development of counter-terrorism strategy. And this convention was supported by the Bogota Principle. Okay, please keep in the mind, supported by the Bogota Principle. Okay, what? So UN Global Counter-Terrorism strategy is composed of, first of all, you can say based on Bogota, okay, UN Convention on Counter-Terrorism is based or was supported by the Bogota Principle, and that was developed in 2013 as a part of one of the first, okay, United Nations counter-terrorism projects. So please keep in the mind. So this UN Global Terrorism Strategy. So the global counter-terrorism strategy is composed of 4 pillars. First, to address the conditions which are conducive to the spread of terrorism. Then measures to prevent and combat terrorism. Then measures to build, okay, you can say states' capacity for the prevention and combat terrorism. Efforts to strengthen the role of the United Nations. Then measures to ensure respect for human rights. Okay, so this is very, very important points we have discussed. BRICS finalized counter-terrorism action plan. Counter-terrorism action plan. Okay, this is very, very important. Now let's discuss the next topic, and the next topic is, friend, incorporation of Gilgit-Baltistan. Okay, as a province in Pakistan. As a province in Pakistan. So Pakistan Law and Justice Ministry has finalized, okay, the draft legislation to incorporate Gilgit-Baltistan, which was known before 2009 as Northern Area as a province of the country. Northern Area as a province of the country. Okay. So what is Gilgit-Baltistan? Let's understand. India asserts that Gilgit-Baltistan, okay, Baltistan is an integral part of India by virtue of the legal, complete, irrevocable accession of Jammu and Kashmir to the Union of India in 1947. And the area's strategic importance has been increased in light of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Agreement. Economic Corridor Agreement. We'll discuss China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Okay. So what is the history of the region? Gilgit was the part of princely state of Jammu and Kashmir, but was ruled by the British, who took it on lease from Hari Singh, the Hindu ruler of Muslim majority state. And friends, when Hari Singh acceded to India on 26 October 1947, the Gilgit Scout rose in rebellion led by British commander Major William Alexander Brown. And the Gilgit Scouts also moved to take over, okay, Baltistan, Nand captured, okay, Skardu, Kargil, and Dras. And in battles, Indian forces retook Kargil and Dras in August 1948. And on 1st November 1947, a political outfit called the Revolutionary Council of Gilgit-Baltistan had proclaimed the independent state of Gilgit-Baltistan. And on 15th November, okay, 1947, it declared it was acceding to Pakistan, which accepted the, okay, accession only to the extent of full administrative control, choosing to govern it directly under the Frontier Crimes Regulation, a law devised by the British to keep control of the restricted tribal area of the Northwest. And in 1949, Pakistan entered into an agreement with the provisional government of Azad Jammu and Kashmir to take over its defense and foreign affairs. And under this agreement, the, okay, Azad Jammu and Kashmir government also ceded administration of the Gilgit-Baltistan to Pakistan. So this is the history of the Baltistan. So you'll have to keep in the mind. So why Pakistan is announcing it province? Let's discuss why Pakistan is announcing it a provinces or province. Friends, first of all, okay, the change in status will meet a long-standing demand of the 1.5 million people of Gilgit-Baltistan. And another suggested reason is that Pakistan decision is under pressure from China, worried that Baltistan ambiguous status might undermine the legality of its project there. So what is China-Pakistan economic corridor? Let's understand. So China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, it is a flagship project under the Belt and Road Initiative and most ambitious in single country. And it was started by China, and it is intended to upgrade Pakistan required infrastructure and strengthen its economy by construction of modern transportation network, numerous energy projects, and the special economic zones and it was launched in 2015. But the government of India object to the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project as upgrade works to Karakoram Highway are taking place in the Gilgit-Baltistan territory that India claims as its town. Okay, so please keep in the mind. You can see here, okay, is China. So you'll have to, is border of Pakistan is Gwadar, is Karachi. Okay, so these are, you can see here, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. It will enter here. Okay, so you'll have to keep in the mind. And in China, Punjab, okay, Rab or Punjab. So you'll have to start from Punjab in China. Okay, basically it will you can say connect China Punjab to Karachi. Okay, Pakistan, Karachi. So this is very, very important. Now, next topic, and next topic is related to privatization of gamma irradiation technology. Okay, so what is the context? So gamma irradiation technology for food preservation is operational in the country in private, semi-government, and government sector for irradiation of various products with private players, and presently 26 gamma radiation processing plants are running in India. In India, there is total 26 plants. Okay, you will have to keep in the mind. And the setting of food irradiation facilities in the public-private mode mitigates the huge quantum of post-harvest and storage losses, okay, of agriculture produce and food, and this will result in national saving. So what is gamma radiation technology for food preservation? Let's discuss. So it is used for the prevention or shelf-life extension by applying predetermined radiation doses. Okay, radiation doses. And this technology is used to inhibit sprouting in bulbs and tubers, insect infestation of cereals, pulses, and grains, microbial decontamination of dry species. Okay, so which factors impacting the result of technology? Post irradiation storage, the time lapse between irradiation and distribution to users, and the total quantity of irradiated food products. So what is the sources of food irradiation? Gamma rays, okay, gamma range, or basically cobalt 60. Okay, cobalt 60. Okay, then electronic beam, then X-ray. So friends, these are the sources of food irradiation. What is the advantage and disadvantage of food irradiation? Let's discuss the advantage and disadvantage. Okay, so basically, friends, advantage, for example, just a minute. Yes. Advantage. So what will be the advantage? Terminal processing. Terminal processing. Okay. So due to the penetration depth of ionizing radiation, the products can be processed in fully sealed final packaging, and this limit risk of the contamination after the sterilization. Then cold method, temperature independence. Okay, second, cold method will be applied. Cold method, okay, or the temperature independence. So radiation sterilization has no heat dependence and is efficient and ambient temperature and sub-zero temperature also, and it is also okay compatible with temperature sensitive material such as pharmaceuticals and biological sample. Then chemical independence. Chemical independence. Okay, so no volatile and toxic chemicals are needed for radiation. In the case of X-ray or E-beam irradiation, no end products which require disposal are generated during the procedure. Then no residue. Okay, no residue. So radiation does not leave residue on the sterilized product. Then flexibility. Flexibility. Okay, so radiation can sterilize the products of any phase, gaseous, liquid or solid materials. Time efficiency. Next is time efficiency. Okay, time efficiency. So the E-beam sterilization can be completed in seconds to minutes. Then sterility assurance level, SAL level. Okay, SAL means sterility assurance level. So radiation treatment yields high, okay, sterility assurance level of 10 ka power -6 or better, which ensure that less than 1 out of a million microorganisms survive the sterilization procedure. Okay. So what will be the disadvantage? Disadvantage, instrumentation. So the capital costs are high and specialization facilities are often needed. And gamma radiation require a nuclear reactor. E-beam X-ray radiation is generated by using electron beam accelerators. Then product degradation. So radiation based methods are not compatible with all packaging materials and can cause its breakdown. Radioactive material. So radiation sterilization requires handlings and disposal of the radioactive material. Radioactive material, so you will have to keep in the mind. Now friends, next topic is okay related to carbon. So net zero carbon targets to tackle climate change. Climate change. So Oxfam in the report titled "Tightening the Net." Okay, tightening the net. TIGTNING. Yes, tightening the net report was published by Oxfam. Okay, and tightening the net stated that net zero carbon targets may be a dangerous distraction from the priority of cutting carbon emission. So what does okay net zero mean? Let's understand. It also referred as carbon neutrality. Net zero does not mean that country would bring down the emission to zero. And emission would be gross zero, which means reaching a state where there will be no emission at all. And therefore, in a net zero state, a country's emission are compensated by absorption and removal of greenhouse gases from the atmosphere. And the carbon can be absorbed by is by creating carbon sinks such as forest. And a country can have even negative emission if the absorption and removal exceed the actual emission. For example, Bhutan has negative emission as it absorbs more than it emits. So what is the key finding of the tightening the net projects? Let's discuss. The net zero schemes are a land hungry scheme as it to require land resource for achieving the net zero targets. And for tackling the challenge by planting more trees than about 1.6 billion hectares of new forest would be required to remove the world's excess carbon emission by the year 2050. And it could result in 80% rise in global food prices and more hunger, while allowing rich nations and corporates to continue dirty business as usual. And to limit global warming below 1.5 degrees Celsius and to prevention of irreversible damage from climate change, the world needs to aim to cut emission by 45% by 2030 from 2010 level. And currently, countries' plan to cut emission will result in reduction of only 1% by the year 2030. So country with net zero targets. So first is New Zealand. New Zealand. First is New Zealand. So New Zealand government passed the Zero Carbon Act in 2019 and which committed to zero carbon emission by 2050 or earlier. And as part of the country's attempts to meet its Paris Climate Accord commitments. United Kingdom also announced, so UK Parliament passed legislation to reduce the United Kingdom net emission of greenhouse gases by 100% relative to 90 levels by the year of 2050. Then United States, third, US, So US President Joe Biden said that the country will cut its greenhouse gas emission by at least 50% below 2005 levels by 2030. And friends, in the US, bipartisan organized called World War Geo was also launched in 2019, to bring together unlikely allies on climate change and to reach net zero carbon emission in country by 2050. Then European Union announced the plan Fit for 55. Fit for 55. You'll have to keep in the mind. So European Commission announced plan Fit for 55, which is to cut emission by 50% below 1990 levels by 2030. Then China. China. So China also announced that it would be net zero emitter by 2060 and would not allow emission to peak beyond what they are in 2030. So there is India's objection. What is India's objection? India is the only country opposing this target because it is likely to be the most impacted by it. And over the next 2 to 3 decades, India emission is likely to grow at the fastest pace in the world, as it moves for higher growth to pull hundreds of millions of people out of the poverty. And no amount of afforestation or reforestation will be able to compensate for the increased emission. And most of the carbon removal technology allowed now are either unreliable or very expensive. According to India, the net zero goal does not figure in 2015 Paris Agreement. And India is arguing that instead of opening up parallel discussion on net zero target outside the Paris Agreement framework, countries must focus on delivering on what they have already promised. And it is well on its way to achieving its 3 targets of the Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement. So friends, this is all about today's class. So do you